This is a French squash. It's an heirloom French squash. Pretty, isn't he? And my carrots?
Oh, nice.
This is called beautyberry. It's a Missouri native.
Okay.
It's birds like it. I try to plant for you know, the birds and the wildlife, that sort of thing.
And that just about covers the Holter Victory Garden. Just one of thousands of such farm gardens. Just a sample that you can match in most any community in America. Each a health insurance policy, a dooryard savings bank. Each a vitamin mine from which you can take stuff more precious than silver or gold.
Now let's consider the area around Rogersville. It's an upland area, and most of the soils there, and certainly all of them on this proposed 250-acre site, are underlain by soils that have a fragipan in them. The fragipan is a very dense layer that retards the movement of water down into deeper soils. It's just a couple feet below the ground, extends down for varying distances depending on which soil series you have. The result is you don't get much groundwater recharge through it. One of the things that the proponents for this plant have said they plan to do was to create a no discharge facility. In other words, all of their wastewater would go into the ground on their facility. That's not going to work where you have the kinds of soils that are there, where you have the fragipan. It won't go through. My projections are that on the order of 90% of all the wastewater they generate will run off their property. It will run off, go into losing streams, and go into the shallow aquifer. The shallow aquifer and those losing streams are all upstream of a water supply intake for the city of Springfield. And of course, that's very important.
In all nature, there is no such thing as really pure water. Even rain collects particles and gases as it comes down. No matter what it once held, by the time it gets into our homes, it must be free from harmful impurities. It must measure up to federal, state, and local standards. Different types of contamination call for different treatment methods, which include flocculation, clarification, filtration, disinfection. What does this mean? It means a better, safer drink of water for you.
Their expert came out of Denver, Colorado, and under sworn court testimony, he had never been in an ethanol plant. He had never seen one up close. He had never designed a treatment system for an ethanol plant. And his plan that he showed in court was a big circle like this with another circle inside it. That was his treatment plan, which I found pretty amazing. The plan that he testified to in court was that they were going to take this 12 million gallons of water and they were going to irrigate 75 acres with it. This area is a very ecologically fragile area, and about 18 inches to 2 feet down we have what's called fragipan. We call it hard pan, but the scientists call it fragipan. So his plan B, this is all in the court testimony, plan B, they were going to scrape down below the fragipan and release it into the groundwater.
Put in regular dirt. Regular dirt.
They were going to put better dirt in to filter it.
Okay.
And by court testimony, this waste would be 6 to 12 times more toxic than household waste.
Now, in terms of the quality of the wastewater. Yes, it will be treated. That's part of their plans. One of the ways you characterize wastewater and the difficulties involved in treating it is by looking at what are called BOD or COD values. Those letters stand for biochemical oxygen demand or chemical oxygen demand. The strength of the waste, the stronger it is, the more difficult it is to treat. The waste they are proposing to generate would have a strength of 8 to 8.5 times that of typical raw municipal sewage. So it's a very strong waste. So that creates treatment problems, and then you have to dispose of the treated water. That's a major problem in the setting that they are in. Again, that goes to site suitability. You've got to have a suitable site for doing the things you want. And just because you hire an engineer doesn't mean that the site's going to work the way you want to. You're dealing with natural systems in terms of water supply and natural systems in terms of disposal of your wastewater.
The water that is under us, the Ozark Aquifer, and it runs clear out into Kansas, is replenished from other parts of the state and the area. And there are pockets where it goes up, you know, and drops back down. The variance in the wells is considerable around here, but it is an entire area, according to the experts that I've heard, of caverns, underground streams that water, the effluent would be released into. And ultimately, this is the top, this ridge that runs along with 60 Highway is a ridge, the backbone of an ancient mountain range. All water that falls here or is created, dirty water that is created here, runs away from here. We are the watershed for the James and the Finley, and consequently the lakes down around Branson. No water runs into this area. So what is polluted here is going all over southwest Missouri.
Wow.
And I've been amazed at the apathy of the citizenry that they're willing to face 12 million gallons of polluted water a year.
Unchecked stream pollution, which befouls our lakes and rivers with filth and scum, is ruining billions of gallons of water every year. To reclaim much of this contaminated water by purification, as well as eliminate natural impurities, intricate water treatment plants have been built. Your drink of water may be processed in a complex plant like this. Yes, waterworks operation is a skilled and technical profession, requiring trained and experienced personnel.
Maintaining water quality is one of the most severe problems that characterizes karst areas. Karst areas are very sensitive to groundwater contamination, groundwater pollution. That's because you have ineffective natural cleansing and very rapid movement of water through some of the karst groundwater systems. So contaminants introduced into the ground at one point may cause problems several miles away. Karst develops on soluble rocks. They are soluble in slightly acidic waters. So any area that you have limestone or dolomite, those are soluble rocks, or marble or gypsum, you get what are called karst landscapes. They are developed by water dissolving out flow routes through the bedrock. And then you get water moving from the surface into those features, giving you features such as losing streams and sinkholes.